Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to a special New Year's Eve edition of I've Got a Secret. Now, before we start our show, there is some business that we have to take care of. Bess Myerson, I'm sorry to say, will not be with us tonight because, as she does each year, she is out on the West Coast where she is going to do the television coverage of the Tournament of Roses. And as a replacement, we have decided tonight to select someone unknown to us from our studio audience. Now, I am going to do this in a rather unusual way, I hope. It isn't generally known, but I have a rather, well, kind of surprising ability to read minds. Now, all I have to do is concentrate, and I get vibrations back from you folks. So right now, I'm going to try to get a message. Will everybody be very quiet and try to think of some possession or some close friend or some outstanding event in your life. All right, let's all concentrate. Somebody here very strongly is thinking about an automobile, an adventure concerned with an automobile. It was not in this country. The automobile was in Europe. It is not an American car. It is a foreign car. It's a Simca, S-I-M-C-A. It's a Simca. Somebody here was driving a Simca in Europe a couple of years ago. It's a she. It's a girl, and she had a friend with her whose name I can't get. The name is very close to the name of the automobile. The automobile's a Simca. Simpkins was with somebody named Simpkins driving in a Simca in Europe. Does that description fit anybody in the studio audience? Will you raise your hand? The young lady down here in the fourth row. You have very strong powers of concentration. Will you come up on our stage and be our guest panelist, please? Fine, let's give her a hand. Boy, you have got a strong mind. How do you do? Very nice to have you with us. You don't mind if I hold your hand because I'm trying to get your name.
It's shaking.
Your name is also French. It's not Margaret. Is it Margot?
Margot, right.
Margot and your last name is an unusual one. I think of throat. Throat can't be. Can't be larynx. Is it anything like it?
Larynx.
Larynx. Larynx. Oh, that's fine.
Margaret.
How's your sister Rosemary?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know.
Yes, I know. Tonight is her birthday. She's having a birthday party and a New Year's Eve party, too, which is fine. And your boss? Your boss has a French name, too. Is it Dumont?
No, everything.
Dumont? Is it your boss's name, Dumont?
Right.
Frank Dumont. Frank Dumont, and I see him in a large public building in Battle Creek, Michigan, which is where you're from, isn't it?
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I see him in a large public building. You are his secretary. It's a museum.
Right.
And he's the director of the museum, right? And how's Dutchie?
Oh, my goodness.
Dutchie's her dog. He's a little dachshund, isn't he?
Right.
You're going to make a marvelous panelist. Thank you very much. You can just go right on over. And if you want to see some more of these mental gymnastics, stay tuned to I've Got a Secret.
I've Got a Secret, brought to you tonight by Tony, creator of fine beauty products for the woman who prefers the natural look of beauty care at home. Live from New York, here is I've Got a Secret, starring Gary Moore.
Thank you. I'm tired before I start. It's a frigid night here in New York, friends. We are grateful to you folks for coming out in this gale wind, 10-degree weather to see our show. To make up for the coldness of the weather, we have a really hot panel with us tonight. First hot from a matinee performance of South Pacific, we have Betsy Palmer. And huddled next to Betsy, presumably for warmth, is the hottest man in television, Bill Cullen. And then our special panelist, picked just hot from our studio audience a moment ago, Miss Margot Larink. And last but not least, our one bachelor panelist, Hot Lips Morgan. Miss Larink, welcome to I've Got a Secret. You have seen it played before.
Certainly.
Good. Well, Henry and Bill will take care of you. Don't worry.
Oh, you bet.
And Betsy, I know that you have to rush back to do your evening show at the Paper Mill Playhouse in Millburn, New Jersey, so we'll try to end the show as quickly as possible tonight.
Oh,
all right?
don't rush it too quickly.
All right, now that we have greeted everyone, let's greet our first contestant, please. Panel, for reasons which we will explain later, this gentleman will be known as Mr. X. Mr. X, if you will whisper your secret to me, we'll show it at the same time to our audience at home. How about that? Well, to help you classify Mr. X's secret, the clue concerns something he does. We'll start the questioning with Bill Cullen, please.
Mr. X, does this thing you do concern us? This group here, our panel and Garrett.
I think our answer to that, Bill, is partially.
Not directly.
All right.
And on the basis of partially, does it concern a great many people, we included?
Possibly.
While the actual phrasing of the secret, Bill, excuse me just a moment while we whisper.
Feeling like, what's my life?
So we would say that the secret concerns only one person, Bill.
Oh, it concerns one of us. Does it concern Margot, our new panel member tonight?
No.
$20 down, $60 to go, and so we go to Margot Larink.
Well, does it include one of the other three panel members?
Yes.
Is it Betsy?
Yes.
Very good, Miss Larink. Very good indeed. Yes, his secret is connected with Betsy.
He's all right.
Listen, we get paid a lot of money for this. Don't be so... Take it easy, George.
Is it in connection with Betsy's occupation, her new play?
Is it in connection with her occupation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it in connection with her play?
Yes.
Yes. It is
Are
in
you-
connection with her current vehicle.
Are you part of the production?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. You are on the same show as she?
Yes.
You know, panel, if you want to learn how to play the game, listen to Margot Ann Larink. And with $40 down, $40 to go, what's the matter, Henry?
That's all there is to it.
He was your friend until just a moment ago. Panel, in the interests of time, we're going to say that Mr. X is better known as William Chapman, who is currently co-starring in South Pacific with our own Nellie Forbush.
Oh, you
Betsy
rely on
Parker. Now, everybody who has seen Betsy and Bill in this production, tell me how wonderful their performances are. So tonight we've arranged a little New Year's Eve entertainment. And Betsy, if you'll join Bill center stage, we will hear Nellie Forbush and Emil Dubeck proclaim their love. Yes, she wanted us to show off Bill. Here's Norman Paris to accompany.
Born on the opposite sides of the sea, we are as different as people can be.
It's true.
And yet you want to marry me.
I do.
I've known you a few short weeks, and yet somehow you've made my heart forget all other men I have ever met. But you,
Come enchanted evening, you may see a stranger, you may see a stranger across the crowded room, and somehow you know even then, that somewhere you'll see her again and again.
who can explain it? Who can tell you why?
Fools give you reasons, wise men never try. Come enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you feel her call you
across the crowded room, then fly to her side and make her your own. For all through your life you may dream all alone.
Once you have found him, never let him go.
Once you have found her, never let her go.
How about that? Let me ask you something. You get to do this 7 days, 7 times a week, do you?
We do more than that, I think, like 8 times a week, maybe. Huh?
Do you have the nerve to go home to your wife and say what a tough day you've had?
It's not easy.
Thank you so much, and good luck out of the paper, no play. Friends, as you know, it's customary at the end of the year for television networks to bring their foreign correspondents to New York to review the headlines of this past year. We like to do the same thing in our own way, and to help us, here is a young man who was such a smash hit with us several months ago. Here he is, balladeer Steve DePass.
Nice to be back.
Well, let me tell you, panel, you all know Steve better perhaps under his brand name of instant songwriter.
Yes.
Steve has the fantastic ability to make up a song about any subject right on the spot. Now, tonight as a public service, we're going to ask you, the panel, to name some outstanding news event of 1962, a happy one. And Steve will interpret it musically. Now, if you got it, you supply the news event, Steve will build you a song. All right, Steve, you take over.
Good evening. Eyes of north betrayed you. It's New Year's Eve. You got a visit from Steve, who's back to serenade you. Well, Betsy Palmer, you're quite a charmer, but tonight it is interesting. You displayed a talent about which I did not know you could sing. Well, with your leading man, Bill Chapman, you really sang up quite a storm. And the embrace at the end of the song, I must admit it was inspiring and warm. But right now, let me proceed to Bill Cullen and bid him a howdy do. And also Margot, and right now in my plan, let me say hello to you. Happy New Year to my good friend Henry Morgan. It is nice now to see you again. And we've got to hurry with time, we've got cause to worry, so let me hasten up this refrain and get back to Betsy, perhaps now for me. You have got an idea concerning something past. I'll try to think fast, something in this year.
The New York newspaper strike.
Well, don't you know that negotiations, they have hit a deadlock? And for me, don't you know, this really does cause me quite a dread shock. Because, you know, with great desperation, I have been thinking about the poor little boy who came around my block on his newspaper route.
The successful orbiting of the American astronauts.
Well, with the successful orbiting of the astronauts, everybody was shouting hurrah, especially with the great display that was made by Mr. Shearer. Why, he went around 7 times, and don't you know, after it was all ended, he said it would have been his desire to remain suspended in orbit. And I might add that we're especially glad because we have been lagging, but it seems that we are on Russia's tail, and pretty soon we might be tagging them. And with no problem, I would not be surprised if in this coming year a new kind of situation with the space race should presently appear. Miss Larry?
The successful outcome of the steel crisis.
I didn't hear.
The successful outcome of the steel crisis.
I didn't hear.
Successful outcome of the steel crisis.
Well, presently, that was not what was scaring me. You know my advice is I was not so scared. Don't you know I am prepared for internal crisis? Well, the president, he was not hesitant to tell the steel people that if they were going to raise the price $6 a ton with him, they'd get in a spat. But there was another crisis, and I might say it really did give me quite a scare, because a great deal of international tension, you know that it was presiding in the air. I'm talking about the Cuban affair, you know, that really made us prepared to run underground. Oh my goodness, it did astound us, and we were not prepared. But as it all turned out, we did put it to rout, and the president made the right decision. And with the people with whom he consulted, they did debate with apt precision, and they made a blockade. We're no longer afraid. Into new crises we may rover, but presently it's so pleasing to me that the Cuban affair seems over. Henry?
Oh, boy. There were a lot of questions about how television would make out. We had a problem, and more than one, among which we would winnow. We wanted to know what would happen to the wasteland, according to Newton Minnow.
Ending of the song pretty soon, we're going to spin over. And I think if I can discern from what you were saying, you want me to sing about Mr. Minnow, who is the head of the FCC. You know, I sang about him once before. And don't you know that I'll tell you truly exactly what was the score. When he first came into office with the wasteland speech, my goodness, he created quite a fuss. And many people in communications were quite delirious. But he said many old-fashioned ideas were going to be displaced, man, because in TV, according to him, that is no place for a wasteland. The show must be moving toward an ending. And now, Mr. Paris, may I call on you? Operation, we're suspending. Get ready, boys, for a lot of noise. We're moving now, it appears. It's understood. We're all feeling good. As we go now, sing. It's been interesting. And a happy New Year.
Thank you, Gary. DePass. Thank you. Now, we'll be back with you again in just a moment, but first let's watch this.
There's only that one special person that can help you ring in the new year. It's Dick.
This will be a good one to watch.
And we've got him. It's the New Year's Eve $100,000 Pyramid Marathon.
We have a firm resolve to give tons of money away.
Yes! With 10 hours of your favorite New Year's Eve host, Dick Clark.
This will be a first.
Ding in the new year with Dick on the New Year's Eve $100,000 Pyramid Marathon. Tomorrow starting at noon 11 Central, only on GSN.
Now, panel, I promised you that I would try to do some more mind reading just to show you that it can be done with more than one person. And Margot, I would like to establish, please, with you that you and I had never met before, had we?
Oh, you're right.
All right, fine. Now, let's just see. We only have a couple of minutes here, but see if I can concentrate on some more people in the studio audience. Please concentrate on an event, something about yourself or something about a possession of yours. Be very quiet and everybody concentrate. There's one gentleman who is coming through louder than anyone else. He is a doctor. I do not, however, believe that he is a doctor of medicine. He is a doctor of something else that begins with the letter M. You know, he has a degree in music, He works in music. He practices profession in Arkansas State Teachers College. His name is Dr. Harry Groth, I guess, Groth. Howard Groth. Is that you, Dr. Groth?
That's right, sir.
Very nice to have you with us, sir. Indeed it is. Were all my facts correct on you?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you very much for being with us, and say hello to your wife, Helen.
She's right here beside me.
Oh, is she? How do you do, Mrs. Groth? Very nice to have you with us. Now, let's try again. Let's try for a lady this time. I got a married lady, Mrs. Morris. Mrs. Morris, I believe it is, and although her husband's first name is William, she cuts it in half. She calls him Will. She calls him Will Morris. Mrs. Morris, are you here, please? There's a hand up over there. Roger Peterson will get a microphone to you. Welcome to our city.
Thank you.
What are you doing away from home in San Antonio, Texas?
We're just having a big time in the big city.
Good. Your husband's law practice, is your husband, is his law practice flourishing?
Yes, it is.
Good,
we
good.
Wouldn't
And
be
how
here
is
if it weren't.
And how is, I get the name of a friend. You have a very close friend, Bernice. Bernice
Yes.
Eldridge?
Yes.
Bernice Eldridge, and your nickname is, you have a nickname.
Oh, do I?
Or is it your husband? Who of you is named?
This is Will.
Well, how about Bobby? Who is Bobby?
That's what my children call me.
Oh, your children call you Bobby, so you do have a nickname. Sure. All right, fine. Thank you both very much. I wish we had more time. Now, isn't that fantastic?
Yes.
Well, I have a confession to make. As you know, I can't read minds. What I did do was to read and study a lot of research and information gathered by our energetic research staff. The CBS Ticket Bureau provided us with a list of people who had written in for tickets tonight. And our researchers called friends and relatives and got all sorts of information. Margot, your boss, and your mother were both helpful to us over the telephone.
No, you're a genius. Don't deny it.
Oh, I don't deny that, but that's aside from the point here. So, friends, with just a little bit of concentration and a large staff of researchers, you too can learn to read minds. Now, I have two musical instruments here. Thank you, it was fun. Two musical instruments. And I would like for a moment to have you all examine these. Bill, if you'll take this, and Henry, if you'll take that. I'll tell you in just a moment what we are to do with them. We'll be back with you again right after this important message.
What kind of player are you? Santa Gamer loves to slay the competition and have a whole lot of fun doing it. No matter what kind of player you are, there's a game for you at GSN.com, like North Pole Hold'em. Get in the game at GSN.com.
Now, friends, tonight being New Year's Eve, we're going to do something different. We're going to play Auld Lang Syne. Now, this may not sound particularly unusual, but wait until you hear our rendition. May we open the curtains, please, gentlemen? Now, the musicians that you see assembled here were selected from our studio audience just minutes before we went on the air. We had rented instruments of all kinds, and we asked for volunteers, people who could play them. Now, we had a few gaps left in, and so we are filling in with a few people from Norman Paris's group, but not many. They're all there. Will the Norman Paris people stand up, please? There you are. So you've only got 1, 2, 3 pros in this whole bunch. All right. Now, remember that not only are they playing together for the first time, they have never met before tonight. Now, then, since no one on the bandstand knows how this is going to come out, we should have someone who is familiar with the music to conduct it. So here from the Imperial Ballroom at the Americana Hotel is the man who knows Auld Lang Syne better than anybody, Mr. Guy Lombardo. Well, it puts you to work, and I am so delighted that you're not going to break with tradition. It's tradition in our house to tune in at midnight and watch Guy Lombardo officially declare the new year, and you are going to do that again this year, are you?
We will, Gary. We start 11:50.
Why, he must be 100 years old.
Oh! Guy Lombardo, my friend, if you will take it. We have a podium here for you. There we go. Now, you want to tune up, band, please? Oh, it's going to be a wild New Year's. All right, guys, you will, please.
Okay.
A million thanks to Guy Lombardo, and back to the band again.
It's about strategy.
When the timing's right, you strike.
It's about psychology.
I'm trying to figure her out right now.
It's about reading your competitors to see who is too greedy.
Give me.
And who's just greedy enough. I'm Corbin Burnson, inviting you to watch my new show, How Much Is Enough?
How Much Is Enough, premiering January 8th on GSN.